welcome to Savagely Delightful, a podcast exposing the schadenfreude nature in all of us. Each week, your co-hosts John and Christy will be coming at you with different stories of people making the kind of dumb mistakes that we all just love to hear about.
Hey everyone, I'm John.
And I'm Christy.
And welcome back to Savagely Delightful, episode number 9.
Thank you for joining us.
Yep, it's been about 6 weeks since we started this now.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
It's insane.
And we're still such weirdos that before we started recording, we decided to record our slurping noises to see how it sounds.
Yeah, Christy's way better at slurping noises than me. I don't know how.
Okay, weird, but anyways. Okay, so today, we just wanted to put the request out there that, like, if you like what you hear today or in any of our other episodes, to please rate us and leave feedback on whatever podcast directory that you're using. There's a lot of really great podcasts out there that have large marketing budgets that they're working with, and they're really able to get their podcasts out there in ways that we just can't. So giving ratings and feedback, especially on Apple Podcasts, is the best free way to promote a podcast. Also, like, the show isn't free to make. We just love making it. So if you enjoy it and would like to contribute even just $1 a month, then check us out on Patreon. But we're really excited to bring you another episode today. So without further ado, John, would you like to take it away with our first story?
I would love to.
Unless you have any other updates or anything.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope, just been busy.
Yeah.
Our first story was submitted by Thin Juggernaut 1502. And they write, "So I know what you're all about to think, and no, I'm not a druggie."
Oh, we'll see.
No good stories ever started out that way.
I'll be the judge of that.
No. They say, "I've never done drugs in my life, but I had to take a drug test for a new job.
Oh, okay.
It was a pee test, and I was already uncomfortable with that because I had never done one before."
Pee tests are weird.
We'll get into that. "Keep in mind, I'm a 20-year-old woman, so aiming isn't really my strong suit."
That's why I was going to say it's weird. Because for a woman, you have to, like, aim it perfectly. And there's not much good aiming that you can do down there.
Guys are snipers.
Right? It's bullshit.
Right in there.
It's so not fair.
They say, "After about 3 tries, I finally caught enough in the cup, but it was covered in pee, so I tried to clean it.
I hear you there. That sucks.
I tried to be gentle, but the cup tipped and some got onto the floor. In my panic to clean it up, I spilled more onto the floor and just wanted to cry."
And you probably barely got enough in there, too.
Right?
So then you spill some out and you're like, damn it.
"Eventually, I was able to clean most of it up and walked out, feeling ashamed and my hands smelling as pee as I handed her the cup. She glanced into the bathroom and saw a bunch of toilet paper in the toilet and some wet spots on the floor."
Oh, my God. I'm sure they're used to it, though.
Oh yeah, they've probably seen everything. "My face is still burning from the embarrassment from the look she gave me. I quickly washed my hands, flushed, and left. Now I'm hiding in my car."
That is so funny.
And even people who, like, don't do drugs are always nervous of drug tests.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, did I accidentally smoke crack last night and forget about it?
Right? Or, like, even at work, there's, like, some drug tests that are just, like, sitting there for some reason, just, like, ready for use whenever. And there's so many times where I'm like, I just want to take one just to see. Like, just out of curiosity.
But you know.
No, I do know, but, like, what if you secretly drug me at night?
That's true. Or, like...
That's true.
or, like, what about, like, that one time 2 years ago that I smoked weed with my friends? Is that going to pop? Like, just random stuff like that. It's just, there's always that, like, thought in the back of your head, like, what if I just smoked a bunch of meth and completely forgot about it?
I mean, just, like, when you are, like, talking to a cop, it's like, oh, God, what did I do wrong?
Right?
Like, you instantly think of everything possible that you could be in trouble for.
Or if you go to an airport and you're like, wait, did I accidentally bring, like, all of my weapons with me? Do I have every single weapon I've ever owned on me right now?
You get attacked by a dog out of nowhere.
But it's okay. And since, like, drug tests are always nerve-wracking, spilling it everywhere and, like, making a mess would just make your anxiety go up even more.
Right.
Because it seems like you were trying to hide something, too.
And then your aim's even more off.
Yeah. That's a whole mess. Sorry you had to go through that, but yeah, they've probably just seen everything, so don't sweat it. Ready for the next one?
Yeah. Okay, so my first story is from an anonymous source, and they write and say, like many, I shave my face in the shower and have done it for years with no problem. Today, while shaving, some water splashed into my left eye. I took a look in the mirror and didn't see anything, so I went about my day. All day while running errands, my eyes felt dry. It was to be expected because I had just started a new job that required me to wake up much earlier than I was used to, and I was still adjusting. I decided to take a nap in the car to revitalize my eyes. By the time I get home, my left eye is still killing me. I figure there must be a hair stuck in there, so I do the regular trick of pulling my top eyelid over my lower eyelid to get it out, and that's when all hell broke loose. But, like, is that a thing? To pull your one eyelid over your other eyelid to get something out? I had never heard that before.
I haven't either. I used to do that weird thing growing up where I flipped my eyelid inside out.
Yeah.
But not to, like, clean it, just to be weird.
But, like, they're saying pull your top eyelid over your bottom.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
To clean it out. I'm going to have to try that sometime.
Don't. You're bad at messing with your eyes.
That's true.
You're going to poke your eye out.
It's just going to be permanently over my other eyelid for the rest of my life.
Overstretch your eyelids and they're just hanging like flaps.
Right.
Gross.
Okay. Anyways, back to their story. They say, my eye had now felt like it was being destroyed every time I blinked, like I had shrapnel stuck in it. For about an hour, I tried rinsing my eye out with water, eye drops, and various other techniques to get whatever debris out, but nothing was working. I decided to grab a Q-tip and flip my eyelid completely inside out, convinced a hair was stuck behind the little flap. A Q-tip on your eye? That would feel so weird.
Especially like with all the extra fuzz and
stuff. The little
stuff.
fluffies? Yeah. Ugh. Okay, they say, when I looked in the mirror closely, I was horrified to see a ton of little splinters of short hair shavings stuck in my eyelid.
From shaving?
Yup.
Oh, man. Those are short and sharp.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It said, I called my girlfriend and we spent hours flipping my eyelid and plucking each one out with sanitized tweezers because I don't have health insurance.
Fuck.
Her eyesight isn't the best, so she couldn't see them all like I could, and some of them blended in with the tiny veins, increasing the complexity. So, like, imagine not only taking scissors to your eyelids, or not scissors, sorry, tweezers.
Yeah, I don't want scissors.
I mean, it's basically the same thing at that point. But then taking tweezers to your eyelids, but then trying to get something out of your eye, confusing it for a vein in your eyelid, and then pulling at that. Or, like, pinching a vein in your eyelid. Ugh, man. So bad.
I just hate eye stuff, too.
Right? Okay, but they say, by the time I was convinced that we got them all, my eye was in terrible pain and dried beyond recognition, and I went to sleep.
I believe it.
It's now today, and it feels like I've been punched in the eye, but no scratching, and feels 1,000 times better.
Good.
I'm going to wear safety goggles or something while shaving to avoid this happening ever again. But they, like, you would have to sedate me to get tweezers in my eyes or something.
Yeah,
I would be
flinch too much.
Freaking out. Well, and that's the weird thing is, like, with my allergies, I mess with my eyes all the time. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to, like, anything other than just, like, rubbing them or, like, I don't know, just touching my eyeball, anything else freaks me out.
Yeah, that wouldn't be all right.
Ugh. But, like, I wonder what happened when pulling the one eyelid over the other, why that caused it to, like, make the irritation start. Other than before. Maybe
the hair shavings were in there, but when he pulled it, stretched it, and brought it back, it, like, shoved those hair particles into the eyelid.
Ugh. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's a whole mess of nope.
Yeah. But, also, like, what a pair are they? He's got hairy eyes and she can't see. She has bad eyesight.
That's some Rick and Morty stuff. Got some hairy eyes.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Gross.
But yeah, put me under, Doc. I couldn't do it.
No, not at all.
No way.
Get some health insurance. That'll help.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you still won't be able to pay for it because it'll be too expensive.
Right? Yay! Yeah. U.S. healthcare system. We're all fucked.
Yeah.
Anyways, you ready for your second story?
Yes, I am. And this was submitted by Chryso L. And they write, so when I, a 25-year-old male, was going to my first year at university, I decided to rent an apartment off campus because I was not on board with sharing a room with another person in a small dorm.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know somebody. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. This
gave me the opportunity to prove myself that I was capable of maintaining a clean living space, unlike how I kept my bedroom at home. It also gave me the opportunity
Take this, Mom.
It also gave me the opportunity to throw parties for my friends since they all lived in dorms and we couldn't drink there really. So fast forward about 3 months into my freshman year. My apartment was poppin'. I would throw parties on the weekends and everything was going great. I took it upon myself to clean up once per week and would conduct a deep clean on Sunday evenings after the weekend shenanigans had concluded. Like, damn. That's really having it all together for being a freshman in college.
I was going to say, too, especially if you're using your apartment as, like, the party house to, right? Like, keep that in line with your goal of, like, keeping your apartment clean.
Yeah.
Like, I'm impressed that you actually were keeping on top of it, honestly.
Like, when I first moved out, I just had, like, it was a 3-bedroom apartment, and I had one of the bedrooms. And just by myself, it was hard to keep my own room clean.
Yeah.
Like, I was not tidy at all.
Yeah.
But they go on and say, so it was Sunday and we had off classes on Monday because of the snow. I decided to throw a day rager. This party was especially messy because I made it an open party, so there was a lot of people going in and out of the apartment, tracking in snow and mud. Drinks were spilled, people were vomiting, you get the idea. It was nasty by the end of the evening. I was on the verge of blacking out by the time everybody had left for the night. I decided that since I played hard, I would clean up right then and save myself from the task the next day.
Oh, so responsible.
Right? I grabbed the Lysol from the cabinet and went to work on those linoleum kitchen floors. They were spotless by the time I had finished and went to pass out drunk in bed. Like, this guy is seriously proactive.
Right?
I've never heard of, like, anyone cleaning while they're drunk to save them time when they're sober.
I've done it a few times.
I have not.
But it's few and far between.
No, I go to bed and deal with the consequences the next morning with a hangover and coffee.
Yeah, see, that's terrible.
It's better than doing it while you're drunk. Like, screw that noise. And he was like, about to black out? No.
Yeah, that is a whole new level.
They continue, well, I had a terrible hangover the next day. I wake up and immediately need to throw up. I throw off the covers and start to sprint towards the bathroom to expel whatever leftover alcohol was still in my belly.
God.
I had one foot on the freshly cleaned linoleum and the other on the carpet as I lost traction and fell directly on my ass. I tried to stand back up.
And then throw up all over yourself.
Well, I tried to stand back up and kept slipping everywhere on all fours, trying to hold back the vomit.
Oh, no.
I couldn't recover in time and make it to the bathroom and ended up projectile vomiting all over the kitchen cabinets, which ran down my ice skating rink of a floor.
No, you really did.
Yeah.
Oh.
After I finished puking, I was wondering what the heck was going on.
Over your freshly cleaned apartment.
Why was I slipping around all the freshly cleaned floor? I slid my vomit-covered body across the floor to a rag and the Lysol I used the night before, only to realize that my drunk ass had used vegetable oil.
What?
I ended up taking a shower and then spending the next 3 hours purging my kitchen of my own vomit and using Dawn dish soap to cut the oil off the linoleum.
God, that would take forever to clean. You just, kicked yourself in the ass by actually trying to clean the night before.
That's why you don't clean drunk.
Oh,
bam.
My God.
Yeah. My sisters and I used to put, Pledge on our wooden floors growing up.
Terrible idea.
Well, we used to do it all the time, wear our socks and slide around and stuff. But then one time my mom, didn't know, slid, busted her ass, and, yelled at us. So we couldn't do that anymore. But we did that, on purpose.
Screw that.
Yeah, but I'm still just impressed with how much, of a clean freak he was. I never cleaned that much, in my freshman year.
Yeah.
Especially, because I didn't even live on campus. I had my own place.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos on being proactive, but quit drunk cleaning.
For sure. Oh my God, that would take forever to clean.
Yeah, and then after you cleaned it, you have to do something about the smell.
Yeah.
Because stomach acid does not smell good, and it stays around.
I feel like it normally doesn't really stay around too awful much, but especially if you're using that much Dawn, depends on if it has like some fragrance to it, because that could probably cut it as well.
That's true, and burn incense.
Yeah.
There you go. Some white sage, some micro...
Yeah, sage will clear it out real quick.
What is it?
Cleanse that shit. Antimicrobial.
Antimicrobial. There you go. I can't talk words. You ready for the next one?
I am. Okay, so my next story is by sigfigg, and they write, I work in the memory care unit of an assisted living facility. My unit has about 18 people, all different stages of dementia and Alzheimer's. So on this day, I had to work by myself because currently we are understaffed. And just a PSA for everybody, this is just me speaking, this is actually a huge issue right now with long-term care facilities being understaffed due to the pandemic. So if you're in need of a job right now and you want to help make a difference in people's lives, then I really encourage you to find your local long-term care facility and inquire about becoming a certified nurse's assistant. In many cases, these facilities will gladly train you themselves and help get you the right certifications. But back to the story.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And like so many long-term care facilities are understaffed, and most of it is for CNAs.
Oh, nice.
So many facilities will train you and pay you while you're training.
Dope.
And get you the right certifications. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. I don't know how to turn that off on my computers, and it just keeps going off.
I'll fix it for you in a bit.
So sorry. But yeah, back to the story. They're working on the memory care unit at the assisted living facility. And they say, dinner came and I got everyone seated to eat except for one person that is bedbound. So we have to take her food to her room and help her eat. I call a nurse and ask her if she can watch everyone while I go feed her. She says that she can stay for 30 minutes and I leave my coat next to her, which also has my keys in the pocket.
Uh-oh.
15 minutes later, I come back and the nurse, my jacket, and most of the residents are gone.
Oh, shit.
Not a great feeling, but let's see where this goes, right? Okay, so they say some background information. On a normal day, our residents usually sit in the common room and watch TV, play bingo, cards, etc. in the common room. While they are there, we keep the doors to their rooms locked because most of them are wanderers and tend to go into other people's rooms and take their stuff or take things from the common room like food or drinks into their rooms.
I mean, I would too if I was stuck in a place like that.
Yeah. Well, and especially with dementia and Alzheimer's, a lot of times they don't differentiate somebody else's stuff from their own.
Understandable.
So that becomes an issue a lot of times. And I mean, in some facilities, it's kind of like a known thing, and the families recognize that that's a part of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of families are okay with it, but then there's other families that will come in and expect her to be wearing this one specific shirt. And if they can't find that shirt, then all hell breaks loose.
Then someone's stealing. And,
yeah. And then it becomes this huge issue when that's never the true intention of it. Okay, so anyways, I'm wondering where everyone is, only to run into the custodian and find out that he has unlocked all of their doors, which he isn't supposed to do, and let them into their rooms, some of them with their food. So I hurried to each room and asked the same questions. Hey, did you pick up a blue jacket by mistake? Did you see a jacket during dinner? You find any keys? The questions were about what I had expected they'd be. I've never had dinner here. Why are you in my house? When is dinner? Or just ramblings about other stuff.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it breaks your heart, but it is so accurate of this being the expected type of response from people who suffer from Alzheimer's.
Gotcha.
But they go on to say, my shift was from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., and since I was alone, I couldn't really dedicate much time to looking for my things, since there was a bunch of stuff I needed to get done for the next shift. I gave up looking around 3 a.m. and got an Uber to come and pick me up. So they were there for an additional 4 hours just trying to find their coat and their keys.
Damn. Well, you kind of need that stuff.
Yeah, and especially after a long shift with being understaffed, like, that makes for such a long work day. Mm-hmm. But they continue and say, next day, the morning shift found my coat in a resident's closet inside of a chest buried under clothes. This chest was full of old diapers, tampons, and clothes that she had taken from current residents and some that hadn't lived there in months.
This is why people aren't being CNAs.
Yeah, but it's not their fault.
No, it's not, but like, it's all part of the reason.
Yeah, it's all a part of the sickness, and it's just sad.
It is.
But they say, unfortunately, no keys, and yes, I threw the coat away. And, like, yeah, that's really gross, but there's no telling how the resident is thinking about those items. And they're probably making some kind of different connection and meeting and associating that with those sanitary items.
Definitely, yeah. I totally get it. It is. It's sad. And not a lot of people want to be around that kind of work environment because that would definitely take a toll on you.
Yeah, it does. But, so basically it sounds like their big mistake was either not putting their coat in a secure place like a cupboard in the nursing station or trusting somebody to actually give a shit about your coat and keys.
Yep, yeah. Trust no one.
Yeah.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, but either way, thank you for the work you do. Working in long-term care, it can definitely be tiring sometimes, but it's also very rewarding.
Yes, thank you.
One thought you could try is, like, I know that sometimes there's those little locator things. Yeah. Like, one company is called, like, Tile or something.
Yep.
I've never used them. Like, this isn't a promo for them by any means.
Sponsor us.
But, like, I know that there's different little gadgets like that you could try out, and then it just, like, kind of pings wherever your stuff is and will help you find it.
That's super dope.
You're just pinging stuff all over the long-term care facility. Yeah, they were just wanting you to go on a scavenger hunt. It's fine.
With you, it's a scavenger hunt, but you have the answer key.
Yeah. Well, without it, you don't.
True, yeah.
Good luck solving it. You ready for your next story, babe?
I am. And this one is submitted by Can't Control My Face.
Yes. I can't either.
This is quite a few years ago when I was 16 years old. It was my first day.
16.
I'm 16 years old. I'm a grandmother.
I love that little girl.
It is. Sorry, it's on a YouTube video. It was my first day working at a local large bakery/factory. I was shown to the conveyor belt and basically left to my own devices. I hate it when jobs do that.
Yeah.
They're like, this is a simple job.
They're like, good fucking luck. Yeah. Bye.
Even if it is like a simple job, you still need some direction.
Especially on your first day.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be so nervous and not know what you're doing and afraid that you're going to fuck everything up. That then it just increases the likelihood for a fuck up.
Yep. So they write, all I had to do was put 6 Bakewell tarts into the packaging. Simple. Except it was really fast, and after a couple hours, my arms started to ache. Some of the Bakewell tarts started to fall off of the conveyor belt and onto the floor. I tried to hurry up and go faster, but I was getting panicky, and before long, there was at least 30 Bakewell tarts on the floor.
Aww.
I noticed there was a big red button on the machine that said push in case of emergency. Well, this is an emergency, I thought, and pushed the button. 10 minutes later, I'm all caught up, and I've packed all the Bakewell tarts up. I'm feeling ready to start again when some bloke starts barging towards me with steam practically coming out of his ears and swearing his head off.
Can I just say I love the word bloke?
Yeah, you can tell that they're from, like, Europe or somewhere.
Yeah, I always forget that that's a word, so that just makes me smile. Sorry, go on.
He comes at them saying, "Did you press that fucking button?" he shouted.
Okay.
I said, "Yeah, sorry, it was an emergency because they were going on the floor." He screamed, "Well, you just burnt 10,000 Bakewell tarts."
Oh, how are they supposed to fucking know?
By pressing the button, it stopped everything, and they stayed in the oven for too long. Yes, it was my first and last day.
That's bullshit. Okay. They left you on your own, and then they want to come and fucking yell at you for that?
30 tarts.
Excuse me.
30 tarts isn't an emergency, though.
I mean, but if I can see her point of view, because that is then wasting, And then if it's just falling on the floor and then it's just trashing everything and she's trying to prevent them from being trash.
I mean, I get that, but companies take into their calculation a small percent of loss, in the production line. That's what you do.
I mean, yeah, but if she's getting more and more behind and, like, didn't she say it's, like, her first job?
First day. It doesn't say first job.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was just their first day at that place.
But yeah, if you're not told what that button does and it's just like a stop button, then I mean, it makes sense to me. But it also, the story also reminds me of like the I Love Lucy skit. What? Where her and the other girl are like working on some kind of assembly line and it's like chocolates that they're supposed to be packing up.
They just start eating them?
Yeah, and they start getting backed up, so they just start eating them, and next thing you know, they're like stuffing them everywhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So I'm actually like studying conveyor belts and machinery and like a production system and how all that works. And usually when it comes to conveyor systems, they have some kind of fall-off bin or catch or recycling bin or something would catch them or bring it back into cycle because, like I said, they take that into account. But, like, I get what you mean. If they were just falling onto the floor, then that bakery needs to do something about that. Especially if it was going too fast for you. Like, maybe slow it down a little bit. Or they shouldn't have left you
to your own fucking devices on your first day.
Or they could have, like, checked up on them.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
Literally anything.
They come and check on them in a half hour. There's, like, 2 bagels on the floor. They're like, whatever. Yeah. They check in another hour, and there's, like, 15. They're like... Okay.
They're like, okay,
they come back in a couple hours. There's 30. They should be like, okay, yeah, we really need to do something about this.
Yeah, like clearly she needed help.
Mm-hmm. But
it's bullshit.
Moral of the story: don't press the big red button unless like you're bleeding.
I like big red buttons.
I know you do.
The big red buttons are just calling your name to be pushed.
It's literally the exact opposite. They're calling you to not push it unless you have to for an emergency.
Not in my brain.
Oh, okay. You ready for your next story?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so my next story is also by another anonymous source. And this one's going to get you, John.
Is it gross?
Bit. No, it's not gross. Okay, so Anonymous writes and says, so when I was about 12 or 13, I had a heavy obsession with the TV show Charmed, a show about 3 sister witches with magical powers.
There was a big theme of that growing up.
Yeah, I know.
Sabrina, Charmed, there's another one.
I don't know.
Oh, well, go on.
But they say the eldest sister, Prue, had the power of astral projection where she can make a duplicate of her body by projecting it elsewhere.
Same.
Me, the bookworm I am, called myself researching astral projection when I found out it was an actual thing that people claim to be able to do. The instructions seemed pretty clear. Number 1, lie down somewhere comfortable. Number 2, envision yourself lying down. 3, envision yourself getting up and walking around yourself and your body, imagining the room as you go. I don't remember what came after that, but I figured it'd be really easy to try and that I could be like Prue. But like that's totally me and totally something that I would do and try and still may, so I'm not going to count myself out for that.
If I see your body floating around somewhere with your actual body right next to me, I'm fighting both of you.
No. But stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, but they say, at this point, I probably seem crazy. But, like, no, I get it. Totally justified, girl. I got you.
I've heard a lot of astral projection stories.
Yeah, I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
But they say... It should be mentioned that I had some weird habits. I also had a really bad habit of talking and kicking in my sleep. So after worrying for weeks that I was dying in my sleep or something else dramatic, my mother took me to a doctor who scheduled a sleep study for me. For those of you who don't know, it's essentially where they strap a bunch of wires to your head so that they can see what your brain is doing while you're asleep.
Thinking.
That's just what it says on the screen. Thinking. It doesn't show brainwaves at all. It just says thinking.
Thinking.
They say it hurt like a son of a bitch because it felt like they put sandpaper on my head when they attached the electrodes.
Oh.
I never understood that, like, about sleep studies. Because, like, they attach all this shit to you, wanting to see what goes on while you're sleeping regularly, but you can't sleep regularly if they put all this extra crap on you.
Yeah, and especially whenever I fall asleep, I immediately start to twist and turn.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I already have troubles falling asleep, and think that if I ever had to do a sleep study, I just literally would not sleep if I was there.
Yeah. Just knock your ass out with, like, some sleepy time tea and some melatonin.
Yeah, but, like, even then, you probably wouldn't get the same readings as you would with nothing, right? I don't know.
I'm not a sleep
doctor. Not a doctor. Yeah. Anyways, I decided this would be the perfect time to test out my new power. Which, like...
Wait, during a sleep study?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Bad timing, don't do that. Being strapped and out of your element is a terrible time to try anything new.
It's like a bad trip.
Yeah, so she says, I did exactly what I had read about. I laid there and envisioned myself getting up from my bed, walking around the hospital room, and then entering the hallway. I was so happy that it was working, because up until this moment, it was fine and it was working.
Jesus.
Which is where the twist comes in the story. So they say, I remember traveling around the hospital past empty white rooms with nobody in them. It still feels like a memory. But at some point, I felt like something was following me when I was headed back to my body. I looked back and saw a black shape like a large shadow following me.
Noping the fuck out. Nope.
It scared the shit out of me, and I remember it chasing me as I tried to get back to the room my body was in. I was so terrified. I don't know why, but I knew I didn't want it to get to my body before I did. I finally got back to the room that my body is in with this hellhound, demon, ghost, whatever thing still chasing me, and I can't seem to wake myself up. I feel myself panicking because I'm grabbing my own arm, yelling into my own ear, trying to get myself to wake up before the creature got in the room. I think I was even crying. Finally, something changed. I don't know what made it work, but as I was crying over my body, trying to get back in, I don't know what I did, but finally I'm awake in my bed as me again in the hospital. I was so scared. I was terrified. I didn't tell my mom what happened. I never tried astral projection again. To this day, it actually sounds very voodoo hoodoo nonsense-like, but still, I don't know if it was a dream or not.
What? You literally tried it and it worked, and now you're going to say it's voodoo bullshit?
Right?
You can't go back on something you just protested.
Right? Like, you tried it and it worked.
Yeah, you can't go back on that.
Yeah. So they finish out by saying, I think I might have actually done something, maybe actually astral projected my spirit, I don't know, but I will never try it again, and decided to leave witchcraft to those who can handle it. Which, like, you did it.
Yeah, you did.
From everything that you are saying, you astral projected. And especially on your first time trying, like, that's impressive. It takes a lot of people so much practice to be able to actually do it.
Yeah, you get it the first time and then Baba Yaga comes and chases your ass down.
But, like, what if they were both racing back to her body because the spirit knew that she was no longer inhabiting her own body and was trying to take her place in her body?
Stop.
You want me to take it a step further? That's what I hear. So, what if all of her dreams were actually the spirit trying to get her to the hospital to do the astral projection just so that they could try and inhabit her body?
I hate you.
I know you do. It's fun.
I have chills.
I know.
Everywhere
I do
now.
too. I knew you'd love this one.
So I don't know if I've said this, but, like, I'm not really afraid of anything. I don't have, any kind of fears of anything that I can physically defend myself from.
Physically defend.
Yeah, that's the key word.
Keywords.
Physically defend myself from. Spiritual shit scares the shit out of me. Like, it's just something you can't do anything about. We don't know anything about it. Yeah. And it's mind-boggling and it scares the hell out of me. So, screw all that noise, especially in a hospital. Just an even creepier aspect.
Yeah, I mean, a hospital is where you would find the lost and, like, depressive spirits. So, like, that makes sense to be feeling that and knowing that that spirit had come from that. Because, like, hospitals just harbor so much negativity that the astral projection venture was basically just doomed from the start.
Thanks, I hate it.
Right? I knew you would.
It's the worst.
Right? But yeah, like, you did it. It may have been a mistake in the long run, but, like, you succeeded at astral projecting, which is incredible.
Yeah, you opened a portal yourself, and now you're going to have to deal with
portal.
now you're going to have to deal with those consequences. Thanks, you screwed yourself.
Yeah. You screwed. You played yourself. But yeah, that is just wild. I knew you would hate that, though.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But yeah, that is my third and final story for the episode. So, John, do you have anything before we close out?
Nope. That is it. Yet again, we would love to hear your stories. Submit them, to savagellydelightful@gmail.com, and all of our other tags are on the outro.
Yep. And like I said, if you could please just take 2 seconds after the episode and just go on to whatever podcast directory you're listening from.
It only takes like a minute or two.
Yeah, and just leave a rating or some feedback or both. That would be great, and that helps more than you could ever know.
Yep.
We love you guys.
Thanks. Bye.
So, you may have made a mistake today, but at least you didn't mess up as badly as the people we discussed. And if you did, we'd love to hear about it, and we may even feature your story on an upcoming episode. You can find us online at www.savagellydelightful.buzzsprout.com, on Twitter at savage_delight, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at savagellydelightful. If you like what you heard today and want to show your support, please consider donating to us on Patreon at patreon.com/savagellydelightful. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss future episode releases, and please consider leaving a review so it's easier for others to find our podcast.